One referee, one ball, one spot on the grass, exactly 12 yards from the goal. And somehow that single number decides more World Cup games than almost anything else in football. Today you're going to find out why 12 yards, not 10, not 15, became the golden number that breaks hearts and wins trophies. Let's rewind to 1891. Football was chaos back then. Players were literally dragging opponents down inside the goal area, and nobody was punishing them properly, so the sport needed a fix. A referee in Ireland, yes, Ireland, not England, suggested something radical: a death penalty for the goal, a free shot from close range with only the goalkeeper standing in your way. But here's the twist: nobody agreed on the distance. Early versions had the spot at different points. It took years of trial and error before 12 yards became the standard everyone accepted. So why 12? Why not 10, which feels rounder, or 20, which feels fairer to the goalkeeper? Think about it like basketball's free throw line. Too close and scoring becomes automatic, boring. Too far and it becomes a lottery, unfair. 12 yards is football's version of that perfect balance point. At 12 yards, a professional striker scores about 75 to 80% of the time. That means 1 in every 4 or 5 penalties actually gets missed or saved. That's the tension. That's why players go quiet, crowds hold their breath, and goalkeepers do that dramatic little dance before diving. Now picture the distance in real life. 12 yards is roughly the length of a school bus. That's it. That's the entire gap between a professional footballer and pure glory or total heartbreak. And here's something wild. The ball is moving so fast off a real strike, sometimes over 60 miles per hour, that the goalkeeper has less than half a second to react. Half a second. That's faster than you can blink twice. So when a keeper saves a penalty, they're not really reacting to the shot. They're guessing before the ball is even kicked, reading tiny clues in the striker's run-up. It's basically a coin flip dressed up as a chess match. That's what makes 12 yards genius. It's close enough that scoring feels expected, but far enough that missing feels devastating. If the spot were just 2 yards closer, penalties would almost always go in and nobody would care. 2 yards further back, and even the best strikers in the world would start missing constantly, and the drama would turn into farce. 12 yards keeps it human, keeps it fair, keeps it agonizing. Now here's a fact that blows people's minds. This measurement hasn't changed in over 130 years. Football has changed everything. The ball, the boots, the pitch, the rules, but that number stayed untouched. Why mess with something that already creates perfect drama? Quick history nugget for you. This is also why some fans still call the penalty kick area the coward's box, an old nickname from back when some players thought it was almost dishonorable to win a game through a foul rather than open play. Times have changed. Now scoring from the spot is just as respected as any other goal. And in World Cup specifically, penalties have decided championships. Entire nations have celebrated or collapsed because of what happens from that one small spot on the grass. No other single moment in football carries that much pressure packed into such a short distance. So next time you're watching a World Cup match and the referee points to that spot 12 yards out, you'll know exactly why it exists. It's not random. It's not arbitrary. It's the most carefully balanced distance in the entire sport, close enough to expect a goal, far enough to fear a miss. 12 yards, one shot, a century of pressure built into a single walk toward the ball. If this made you see the World Cup differently, hit subscribe, because we're breaking down more football secrets like this every single week.